heart of the African savanna, where acacia trees stretched toward the sky and lions roamed free, there lived a wise elder named Kofi. His village, nestled between two great hills, was a haven of peace and prosperity. The air was sweet, with the scent of blooming wildflowers, and the sound of children's laughter carried on the breeze. Kofi's wife, Afia, was renowned for her kindness and gentle touch, which could soothe even the most troubled of minds. Together, they had a daughter named Amina, whose curiosity and thirst for knowledge were as vast as the savanna itself. As the seasons passed, Amina's desire for wisdom and guidance grew stronger. She would often sit by the village fire, listening intently as the elders shared tales of their ancestors' bravery and wisdom. The flames danced and crackled, casting flickering shadows on the faces of the listeners. But whenever she approached her parents, eager to learn from them, they would dismiss her with gentle words. "Go play outside, Amina. You'll learn these things in time." The wind would carry the scent of roasting maize and simmering stews, but Amina's heart remained hungry. One day, a wise and weathered wanderer arrived in the village. Her eyes, clouded with age, seemed to hold the weight of countless stories. She warned the villagers of an impending disaster. "The winds will shift, and the crops will wither. The animals will flee, and the skies will darken. Only those who remember the wisdom of our ancestors will survive." But Kofi and Afia merely smiled, their faces creased with the lines of experience. "We've heard such warnings before," they said. "Our village will endure." As the seasons changed, the villagers began to feel the effects of the disaster. The skies turned a sickly shade of yellow, and the crops began to wither. The animals fled, and the wind carried an eerie silence. Amina, now a young woman, felt the weight of her parents' neglect. She had begged for their guidance, but they had ignored her pleas. The wisdom she needed to save her village was locked away, hidden in the stories she had never been told. The once thriving village was now on the brink of collapse. The winds of famine howled through the village, leaving destruction in their wake. Children cried, their bellies empty and their eyes sunken. The elders, once full of wisdom and life, now lay still, their bodies weakened by hunger. Kofi and Afia, overwhelmed with grief, turned to Amina, their eyes pleading for forgiveness. "Forgive us, our child," Kofi whispered, his voice barely audible. "We should have listened to you. We should have taught you the wisdom of our ancestors." But Amina, her heart heavy with sorrow, merely shook her head. "The damage is done," she said. "Your neglect has erased our connection to the past. I was ready to learn, but you didn't teach me." The old wanderer returned to the village, her eyes filled with a deep sadness. She looked upon the devastation, and her voice whispered on the wind. Amina's parents loved her, but they did not see what was truly needed. They did not hear the whispers of the ancestors, guiding them toward wisdom. Amina, her eyes cast downward, nodded in understanding. She knew that she had been given a precious gift, the gift of wisdom, forged in the fire of her parents' neglect. As Amina stood amidst the ruins of her village, she realized that the wisdom of the ages was not just a collection of stories, but a way of life. She understood that the love of parents must be paired with wisdom and care to ensure a child's growth, and she knew that neglecting to nurture a child's potential could lead to irreparable consequences. The wind carried the whispers of the ancestors, guiding Amina toward a brighter future, one where she would pass on the wisdom of the ages to her own children and grandchildren.